I was knee-deep in rebar on a Denver high-rise when my neighbor Evelyn's text hit my phone like a gut punch. The photo showed 3 suits with clipboards strutting across my grandfather's deck like they owned the place, while a realtor in designer heels waved at my front door, and Vanessa Harrington, Shadow Lake HOA president, stood in my driveway directing traffic like a game show hostess. Her voicemail followed seconds later, all honey and fake concern. Just exploring community enhancement options, Ryan. You understand how important uniformity is, right? No, Vanessa, I don't understand how you auction off what isn't yours. But I sure as hell understand what happens when a bully picks the wrong blue-collar family. My name is Ryan Callahan. That cabin on Crystal Lake, Colorado, wasn't some weekend flip. It was Grandpa Hank's masterpiece. He came home from Vietnam in '78 with nightmares and a VA check, bought those 2 acres in '82 when this valley was still mostly pines and elk. He cut every log, drove every nail, built the workshop that still smells like fresh cedar and motor oil. Nobody takes what you build with your own 2 hands, son, he'd say while we stained the porch together, sap sticking to our fingers for days. He passed 3 years ago and left it to me and my 15-year-old daughter Mia. The one safe place she runs to when the divorce drama gets loud, the one quiet spot I escape to after 60-hour weeks swinging hammers. The cabin predates the HOA by 30 years. Grandpa's deed is ironclad. But Vanessa Harrington, fresh from California with her leased Range Rover and an obsession with curb appeal, decided the rules didn't apply to her. She measured lawns with a literal tape measure, fined old Mrs. Garcia for excessively vibrant roses, and hit the Thompson family with daily penalties for parking their work truck in their own driveway, all in the name of preserving property values. Translation: price out anyone who doesn't drive luxury and can't afford her vision of perfection. Her first shot at me was a citation claiming Grandpa's workshop was a non-conforming rustic eyesore. She demanded $12,000 in compliance upgrades or demolition. When I suggested she do something anatomically impossible with her clipboard, she escalated straight to today's real estate circus. Strangers touring my property like it was already listed. I didn't panic. Guys who pour concrete for a living learn to dig deeper when foundations crack. Lunch break, county clerk's office. The clerk pulled the original 1982 survey and grinned. Your grandpa was smart. Not only did our property line extend 20 feet farther north, putting Vanessa's beloved HOA welcome gazebo and mailbox cluster squarely on my land, but the deed carried a perpetual grandfather clause exempting it from any future homeowners association. Boom. Her entire enforcement empire just lost its legs. That evening Evelyn showed up with oatmeal cookies and a manila folder thick enough to stop a bullet. That woman offered me $500 to photograph your violations, she whispered. Inside were months of evidence, recordings of threats, copies of harassment letters to half the neighborhood, proof Vanessa had tried to strong-arm the hardware store into refusing service to problem families. Plus the kicker, her California law license suspended for trust account shenanigans, maxed-out credit cards, and a mortgage 3 months behind. Desperate people get sloppy. I installed motion-activated security cameras that night, the heavy-duty kind we use on job sites to catch copper thieves. Then I called Derek Lang, the property rights attorney who eats HOA bullies for breakfast. Bring everything, he said. This isn't a fight anymore. It's a takedown. The deeper we dug, the uglier it got. Vanessa wasn't just power tripping. She was on the take from Summit View Properties, a developer quietly buying up distressed lakefront lots for luxury condos. Her cut, a promised $500,000 once she cleared out the old-timers. Every citation, every fine, every midnight inspection was part of the squeeze play. 2 weeks later she sent code enforcement with a $22,000 demolition or comply demand for the workshop. I slid the original 1983 permits and contractor affidavit across the table. The officer's face went pale. Vanessa's smile twitched. That afternoon I got the real bombshell from Derek. The Shadow Lake HOA was never legally incorporated. Paperwork screw-up in 2020, never fixed. Every fine she'd collected, every dollar she'd squeezed out of 47 families, over $380,000, was straight-up fraud. Add embezzlement, HOA credit card used for her spa trips and vacations, wire fraud and conspiracy with the developer, and we weren't talking small claims anymore. Then came the midnight gift that sealed her fate. At 1:15 a.m. my cameras lit up. Clear as daylight on night vision, Vanessa in black yoga pants, sneaking onto my land, planting fake trash and violation props, then spray painting condemned across the workshop door. She even scattered empty pill bottles to stage a drug house narrative. She thought she was planting evidence. She was actually filming her own felony highlight reel. Criminal trespass, vandalism, attempted fraud, the works. By sunrise the sheriff had her in cuffs. By lunchtime the whole neighborhood knew. Turns out Evelyn wasn't the only one keeping receipts. When Derek dropped the incorporation bomb at the emergency town hall, the room exploded. Bank records flashed on the big screen. Video of Vanessa's midnight crime spree played in 4K. One by one, neighbors stood up, elderly couples who'd mortgaged their homes to pay her fake fines, young families who'd almost lost everything. The DA announced 18 felony counts, federal wire fraud charges, and asset freezes. Vanessa sat there, pearls trembling, watching her perfect little kingdom burn on live local news. She tried one last Hail Mary, smear flyers calling me the neighborhood menace, robocalls, even a bogus CPS tip about Mia. It backfired harder than her BMW's lease payment. Every bribe attempt was recorded. Every lie got cross-checked. Her crisis management firm dropped her the second the feds started sniffing around the offshore accounts. 6 months later the gavel fell in federal court. Vanessa Harrington got 4 years and a restitution order for every stolen dime plus interest, $2.1 million total. The developer deal collapsed. Summit View's executives are under indictment. We formed a real neighborhood association that actually fixes potholes instead of harassing tomato gardens. We turned that disputed strip of land, where her precious gazebo used to stand, into the Hank Callahan Veterans Memorial overlook. Native wildflowers, granite benches, and Grandpa's words carved in stone. Nobody takes what you build with honor. Mia designed the layout herself. The dedication drew 500 people and the governor. Now I sit on that same porch at sunset, Mia beside me, loons calling across the water, and the only thing measuring the grass is the wind. Bullies like Vanessa always think their rules and connections make them untouchable. Until regular folks remember the one rule that actually matters. When you push hard enough, the house of cards you built on other people's backs comes crashing down on you. True or false? The real power abuser here was the hard-working dad protecting his family's legacy, or the HOA president who turned community standards into her personal ATM, and who truly got served the karma she spent years handing out to everyone else. Drop your vote and your own HOA horror story in the comments. Let's hear it.